Good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about one of the important topic, very important topic, that is object-oriented programming. You will get lot of interview question in the interview. Okay, they will play around this. Lot of sub topics also there that we'll discuss as part of this agenda. Obviously, I have splitted this topic into two different video because it's not possible to complete entire concept in single video. It will be too lengthy video. So I will create part 1 and part 2. So this is the part 1, and after that I will share another video which is part 2 of the object oriented programming. Okay, so what is object oriented programming? Any idea, guys? What do you mean by object oriented programming? So object oriented programming is a methodology to design software by using classes and objects. It simplifies the software development and maintenance by providing the below features. Each Python follows functional approach or object oriented approach. Guys, Python support both functional programming as well as object oriented programming. Okay, coming to Java, it's only object oriented programming language. But Python support both functional programming as well as object oriented programming. Okay, so what are the other features are available as part of the object oriented programming system? So we have something called class, then object, then constructor, then inheritance and all. We'll discuss one by one. Okay, now coming to class, definition wise. Okay, so first definition is a class is a model for creating an object and it does not exist physically. Definition 2 is telling a class is a specification, that is idea or a plan or theory of properties and action of object. So what is the syntax? So we are using the class keyword, that is CLASS. You can see the red color mark. Then name of the class. So inside the class, what are the things we can write? We can write constructor, properties, which is nothing but attribute, then action, that is nothing but behavior. We can create class by using class keyword. You can see we have to write CLSS. There is a keyword. Class can contain constructor, properties, action, and all. Properties also called as variable. Action also called as method. Now, how to define a class or create a class? A Python class may contain the below things: constructor, variable, and method. Instead of variable, again, it is of instance variable, local variable, and all, static variable, and all. Similarly, coming to method, we have instance method, static method, okay, class level method and all. Now, we are using a class keyword, name of the class, okay. Then we are using all sort of things inside the class. Now, brief discussion about the class. We can create class by using the class keyword, as you already know. Class keyword follows the name of the class. After name of the class, we should give a colon symbol. You can see colon symbol we have to give after name of the class. Okay, then after colon symbol, in next line we should provide the indentation, otherwise we will get the error. Class can contain constructor, variables, and method. Constructor are used for initialization purpose. Variable are used to represent the data, instance variable. Okay, methods are used to represent the action, that is instance method. Now, class naming convention. While writing class, we need to follow the naming convention to meet real-time standard. Like, class name should start with uppercase and remaining letters are in the lowercase. Example, student. If name having multiple words, then every inner word should start with uppercase letter. Example, student info. Note, documentation string represent description of the class. Within the class string is always optional. You can see class employee, def, display, self, print, hello, my class is Niriksha. Okay, so make a note. In the above program, when we run, then we will not get any output because we did not call the display method. Above program, that is employee, represent a class which is defined by the developer because we are using the class keyword. Method we can define by using the def keyword. You can see there is a def keyword also we are using. Method means it's just like a function to perform an operation. Now, kind of info. Writing a class is not enough. We should know how to use the variable and method. So, we need to create an object to access the instance data, that is variable method of a class. Now how? Now, what is object? Why should we create an object? As per requirement, we used to define variable and method in a class. These variable and methods hold the data or values. When we create an object for a class, then only data will be stored for the data members of the class. What is an object? Definition 1. Instance of a class is known as an object. Instance is a mechanism to allocate enough memory space for data members of a class. Now definition 2. Grouped item is known as an object. Grouped item is a variable which stores more than one value. Now definition 3. Real world entity are called as object. Make some note. An object exists physically in this world, but class does not exist. Now syntax to create an object. So name of the object is equal to name of the class, parenthesis open and close bracket. Similarly, for example, let's say I am to create an object for a class. My class name is employee. Then I have to write any variable name. Okay, emp is equal to employee, open bracket, close bracket. Okay, you can see here, class employee. I'm writing the function or the method def display. I'm using the self keyword. Then print hello, my name is Nirikshan. Emp is equal to employee, emp.display. Hello, my name is Nirikshan. Now make a note. We can create an object for a class. In the above example, emp is object name. Emp is just like a variable. Above example, display self is instance method. To access instance method, we should create an object. So we are accessing instance method by using object name only. Now constructor. Constructor is a special kind of method in Python. So we can create a constructor by using def keyword. The name of the constructor should be underscore init underscore self. Underscore symbol before and after init with self as parameter. Self should be first parameter in constructor. You can see class, name of the class, definition, because this is a constructor. So how will you declare the constructor? Underscore init underscore, and we have to pass the self, default keyword. Okay, body of the constructor. What is the main purpose of the constructor? The main purpose of the constructor is to initialize an instance variable. Now, when a constructor will be executed, constructor will be executed automatically at the time of object creation only. Like for example, I'm writing class employee. I'm creating the constructor. Okay, I'm defining the constructor, then I'm creating the object. Now, once I create the object, constructor is executed automatically at the time of object creation. That's why the print statement will be executed and it will display the output. Now, types of constructor. Based on parameter, constructor can be divided into two types. One is constructor without parameter, constructor with parameter. Now you can see constructor without parameter. If constructor having no parameter, then at least it should contain self one parameter. Why? Because as I told you, self is a default parameter inside the constructor. That's why even though the authority is present, you can see self is present inside the constructor. So this is the default constructor. You can see. Now while creating the object, the print statement is getting executed. Constructor having one self parameter is getting printed. Now coming to parameterized constructor. Based on requirement, constructor can contain any number of parameters. Let us just try to understand why parameterized constructor by below example. Okay, no parameterized constructor used to initialize all objects with same data. You can see I have a class for employee. I have created a constructor. I have taken a constructor, right? Self ID is equal to 1, print employee ID is equal to self.id. Now I am creating three different objects of my employee class. E1 is equal to employee, E2 is equal to employee, E3 is equal to employee. Now, whenever I'm printing employee ID is equal to every time, how many times I'm creating the object for that class, that many times the constructor will be executed. That's why 3 times my print statement will be executed and 3 times is printing the output saying that employee ID is 111. Getting a point? Make a note. So if we want to initialize different object with different data, then we should go for parameterized constructor only. Now see, creating the parameterized constructor. By default, first parameter should be self constructor. Obviously, always first parameter. Constructor can contain more than one parameter along with the self also. But if you write self after parameter 1 or parameter 2 or at the end it will throw error. Always self should be the first keyword, first parameter inside the constructor. Okay. If we want to define more parameters, then other parameters should follow by self, parameter. If constructor having more parameters, then the first parameter should be self and the remaining parameter will be next, you can see. That's why self is the first, you can see. I have the same employee class, I am declaring the constructor. Okay, inside the self, after that parameter, okay, after self, number is present. Now, I am creating three different objects, E1, E2, E3, and passing the value like 1, 2, 3. So first time whenever E1 will be executed, E1 will be created, object 1 will be created for the employee class. It is printing employee ID is equal to each 1, then 2, then 3. Why? Because 3 times is getting executed. Note, one parameter constructor. If constructor having one parameter, then during object creation, we need to pass one value. So we have to pass one value while creating the object for that class. Otherwise, it will throw error. Why? Because I have one parameterized constructor, so I have to pass only one value. If I have a two parameterized constructor, what example we'll see going forward, then I have to pass two different values. We can see here, yeah. So can I write a constructor and an instance method in a single program? Yes, we can write constructor and instance method both in a single program. Here, constructor purpose is to initialize the instance variable and method purpose is to perform the operation. You can see here is my constructor, here is my method. So I am creating the object three times. Then while calling this function, I have to call on top of that object only. Then only it is printing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now note, access instance variable in instance method. Inside instance method, we can access instance variable by using self keyword only. That's why you can see here, while I'm calling, okay, self.number is equal to number, self.name is equal to name. Even if in the previous one also, self.number is equal to number. Why? Because I have to call by using the self keyword only inside the instance method. Okay, here you can see two parameterized constructor. I'm passing two parameters, number and name. So while creating object, I'm passing two parameters. One is number, another one is called name. One is number, another one is name. Two object. Right? So while calling u_display, so display method will call. So it will print, okay, hello, my number is, hello, my ID or number, it should be number is self.number. Hello, my name is Arjun. Okay, similarly, two parameter constructor. If constructor having two parameter, then during object creation, we need to pass two values. Similarly, three parameter constructor. I am passing three parameter, number, name, age. So at the time of object creation, I need to pass three different value only. You can say three different value only. That's why while calling the display method, yeah, it's printing three different value. Yeah, first is my name. Okay, first is my name, the number, then age. Number, then name, then age. Okay, number, name, age. Okay, here, three parameter constructor. If constructor having three parameter, then during object creation, we need to pass three values only. Now, what is the difference between method and constructor? This is a very, very important question in the interview. Definitely will face this interview question. Method are used to perform operation or action, but constructor are used to initialize the instance variable. Method name can be any name, but constructor name should be underscore init underscore, then we have to pass self. Method we should call explicitly to execute. Constructor automatically executed at the time of object creation only. Now, instance variable. What is instance variable? If the value of the variable is changing from object to object, such type of variable is called as instance variable. Separate copy instance variable for every object. For every object, a separate copy of instance variable will be created. Now, instance variable, you can see class print underscore init underscore self, comma name, comma number. I'm creating like S1, S2 student. Okay, then printing. Then I'm just passing the value. You can see, yeah. Instance variable. Okay. Now, instance variable, declaring and accessing instance variable. So I have the class. I'm declaring the constructor. I'm creating the object. Okay. Then you can see employee number is called e.no. Why? Because while passing, I'm inside the constructor only, declaring as well as I'm accessing also the variable. The instance method. Instance method are method which act upon the instance variable of the class. Instance method are bound with instance or object. That's why called as instance method. The first parameter for instance method is self variable. Along with self variable, it can contain other variable as well. Now you can see I have a class called demo. I have the constructor. I have the instance method also in. So while creating the object for the class, obviously I have to pass the value. Why? Because I have one parameter inside the constructor, that is a. So d.m, while calling on top of that object, then it's telling a value is nothing but 10. Why? Because 10 I'm passing here. Similarly, constructor with keyword argument, you can see. So I'm passing here number is equal to 111. So employee ID is equal to 111. It's very simple. Are you getting my point, guys? Any doubt so far? Any doubt so far? Now, constructor with default argument. We can apply default constructor on. We can apply default argument on constructor concept. So I have the class called employee. I'm declaring the constructor. Inside that, I'm taking the value called like number is equal to 11. So here, while creating the object, you can see even though I have one parameterized constructor, I'm not passing anything. Why? Because the value I have already passed at the time of constructor creation only. That's why I'm not declaring here. So while printing, employee ID is equal to 111. Understood? Now, constructor with variable length argument. We can apply different arguments on constructor concept. You can see I have the class. I'm creating the constructor obviously, and I'm writing star a means variable argument constructor. It can be anything. Don't think that a means only one variable I'm passing. No. Star a means it can be any, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 1, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 100. That's why I'm passing 3 different value 10, 20, 30. So while printing here, print A, it will print 10, 20, 30 as part of a tuple. Make a note. We can apply keyword, default and variable length argument concept on method as well. Now, self predefined variable. What does it mean? Self is a predefined variable in Python. This variable belongs to current class object. Self variable will come only for 3 things: constructor, instance variable, instance method. You cannot use self keyword for static method, static variable and all, local variable and all. Only it is possible to write for instance variable, instance method and constructor. Constructor, by using self, we can initialize the instance variable inside constructor. Underscore, init, underscore. We'll learn more during the constructor discussion anyhow going forward. Okay? Instance variable. By using self, we can declare and access instance variable. We'll learn more during instance variable discussion as well. Even in instance method also. By using self, we can create instance method. And we'll learn more during instance method discussion, guys. Okay, so rest of the things I will cover in the part 2 of the object-oriented programming discussion. Okay, till that time, guys, do practice, do enjoy. Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice day.